San Francisco 49ers just got a boost from an unexpected place. A show of confidence and insight from one of the most respected quarterbacks of the last decade. And it's arriving at just the right time as the conversation around Brock Purdy continues to stir. Before we dive into that, though, I have a question for you. A real one. It's something I want you to think about, especially if you've been paying attention to what's being said about Purdy on social media, sports talk shows, and in comment sections all across the internet. Are you concerned about Brock Purdy's ability to finish games when the pressure is on, when the lights are brightest and the clock is ticking down? Specifically, does it worry you that he hasn't thrown a touchdown in the final 5 minutes of a game when the 49ers were trailing by 1 score? That stat, let's be honest, has been passed around like wildfire. And sure, on the surface, it sounds like a damning indictment of a young quarterback who's been billed as a rising star. But if you take even a moment to look deeper, it becomes clear that the stat, while technically true, is entirely out of context. In fact, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm not worried about it at all. And I don't think you should be either. Let's unpack why. First and foremost, we're dealing with a small sample size. Brock Purdy became the 49ers starter partway through the 2022 season after a series of quarterback injuries that led him from Mr. Irrelevant to suddenly being the leader of one of the league's most talented teams. That team was rolling when he took over. They had a fully operational Christian McCaffrey. They were firing on all cylinders, and honestly, they weren't in that many situations where they needed a final minute miracle to win a game. In 2023, San Francisco's offense was arguably the most balanced and explosive in the league. Purdy finished that season with jaw-dropping numbers, a near 70% completion rate, over 4,200 yards, and 31 touchdowns, all while leading the league in several efficiency metrics. The 49ers rarely trailed late in games because they often had comfortable leads. So the notion that he didn't throw a TD in the final 5 minutes isn't a sign of struggle. It's more a sign of how effective the 49ers were earlier in games. Context matters. And now we find ourselves in 2024, a season that has already been marked by injuries and inconsistencies. Multiple star players have been sidelined or limited, including Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. That's not an excuse. It's a reality of football. Quarterbacks are dependent on the system and players around them, especially in a Kyle Shanahan offense that is designed to function like a machine with interchangeable parts, but it still depends on timing, chemistry, and execution. Now back to that infamous stat, the no touchdown in the final 5 minutes number. It doesn't take into account drives that led to field goals or to scores set up by Purdy's arm that someone else finished off. It also doesn't account for whether or not the 49ers were even in possession of the ball during that critical window. In football, game scripts vary wildly. Sometimes the defense lets up a big play and the offense never gets another shot. Sometimes the team executes a flawless 2-minute drill that ends in a short run or a goal line push instead of a touchdown pass. The idea that Purdy should be defined by this particular stat is, frankly, lazy analysis. Has Purdy made mistakes? Absolutely. He's thrown a few bad interceptions. He's misread a couple of coverage situations late in games. But show me a quarterback in his first 40 games who hasn't. The difference is Purdy has also led long drives under pressure. He's orchestrated comebacks. He's kept the team composed. He's done all of that while being doubted every step of the way by people who said he didn't have the arm strength, didn't have the pedigree, and didn't have the tools to be the guy. What's important to remember is that football is not played on spreadsheets. It's played in real time with variables that can't always be captured in stats alone. Look at how many times Purdy has led crucial drives that came down to a field goal or a missed opportunity by someone else. Look at how often he has played near-perfect games that required no last-minute heroics. Sometimes the best quarterbacks are the ones who don't need to be heroes in the final 5 minutes because they've already handled their business for the first 55. But just in case you need a second opinion, let's turn to someone who knows what he's talking about. Former NFL MVP and Super Bowl starter Matt Ryan. During an interview with NBC Sports Bay Area's Matt Mayako at the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, Ryan praised Purdy's game and, more importantly, the way he fits into Kyle Shanahan's system. Ryan has a unique lens here. He knows Shanahan's offensive philosophy as well as anyone, having played some of the best football of his career under Shanahan's direction. Ryan pointed out that Purdy's ability to throw accurately over the middle, a crucial part of Shanahan's design, is one of the biggest reasons for his early success. He called Purdy underrated as an athlete, highlighting his mobility, his on-the-run accuracy, and his ability to process information quickly. According to Ryan, those intermediate throws, the ones that require precision and anticipation, are where Purdy thrives. And in Shanahan's system, that's the bread and butter. It's not about throwing 70-yard bombs or launching the ball deep every other play. It's about rhythm, timing, and execution. It's about making the right decision repeatedly. And that, Ryan says, is where Purdy already excels. Ryan noted that early on, the biggest question with Brock was whether he could remain poised in crunch time scenarios, on third downs, and in 2-minute drills. He believes Purdy has already answered those questions. He also made a point that's worth underlining. When quarterbacks sign big contracts or become franchise faces, they often feel the pressure to become something they're not. They feel like they have to do more, be more, carry the whole team. But the great ones play within themselves, within the system. They stay consistent. Ryan says he sees that in Purdy. He sees a player who even last season realized when he was pushing too hard and adjusted. That kind of self-awareness, that kind of leadership is rare in a quarterback this early in his career. And that brings us to the idea that the 49ers Super Bowl window is somehow closed. Ryan Fitzpatrick, another former NFL quarterback and a well-respected voice, disagrees strongly. He believes the window remains wide open as long as the 49ers have Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. The team may have lost some talent, and yes, injuries piled up last season, but the foundation remains strong. The scheme is proven. The locker room is tight. The culture is intact. And most importantly, they got their quarterback. They got their guy. Now, if you want proof that Purdy can carry this team even without all of his top weapons, look. No further than the Week 3 game against the Rams this past season. No Deebo Samuel. No George Kittle. Brandon Ayuk not quite in stride. Christian McCaffrey out. Purdy was missing all of his major safety blankets. And yet, he put on a show. In that game, Juwan Jennings stepped up in a big way. 12 targets, 11 receptions, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It was the Juwan Jennings breakout game, no question. But that only happens if Brock Purdy finds a way to put him in position to succeed. Jennings isn't known for elite separation. He wins with physicality and hands. And Purdy found him time. And time again. That's what top-tier quarterbacks do. They elevate the guys around them. And when the run game sputtered and the 49ers needed yards on the ground, Purdy took off himself. He ran 10 times for over 40 yards. That's not in his typical playbook, but he made it happen. That's leadership. That's understanding the moment. That's playing to win. The 49ers didn't pull out the victory that day. They lost 27-24, but that wasn't on Purdy. A dropped ball here, a blown special teams play there, a rookie wideout failing to secure a first down that could have iced the game. Those are the kinds of moments that decide outcomes. But what that game showed, and what it should remind people now, is that Purdy doesn't fold when his stars aren't available. He adapts. He finds a way. So yes, the noise will continue. The nitpicking will keep coming. Some analysts and fans will cherry pick stats to fit a narrative. But the truth is Brock Purdy has already proven a lot more than most quarterbacks ever do in their first 40 games. And now, with veterans like Matt Ryan and Ryan Fitzpatrick speaking out in his defense, maybe it's time for people to look past that one number being thrown around and start recognizing what's really happening. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what would be one of the most stunning developments of the NFL offseason, whispers are growing louder around a potential blockbuster move. Aaron Donald, the perennial All-Pro defensive tackle and future Hall of Famer, could be trading the Los Angeles Rams for their NFC West rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. While nothing has been confirmed and both camps remain tight-lipped, Multiple sources close to league insiders suggest that quiet conversations have taken place, conversations that could shake the foundation of the division. The idea of Donald suiting up in the scarlet and gold is almost unthinkable to Rams fans who have watched him anchor their defense for a decade. But as strange as it sounds, there's a sense around the league that something is brewing. Some believe Donald's desire to contend for another Super Bowl, combined with uncertainty surrounding the Rams' long-term competitiveness, could be pushing the three-time Defensive Player of the Year toward a fresh start. And what better landing spot than a team that's been knocking on the Super Bowl door for years? San Francisco, known for its dominant defensive front, could become nearly unstoppable with Donald joining forces with Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave. It's a terrifying thought for opposing offenses and a potential nightmare scenario for the rest of the NFC. Could this be the missing piece that finally puts the 49ers over the top? While trade details remain speculative, some insiders suggest that draft capital and a high-profile player might be involved in what would certainly be a historic deal. Others think a buyout or retirement threat might be part of the puzzle. Either way, something feels different this time. There's a buzz in league circles that can't be ignored. Until official word drops, it remains just a rumor, but one, with enough smoke to make fans across the league stop and watch the horizon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.